Taurus, let's start immediately with your reading. We have here your reading for August 2016, and I'm going to introduce all the cards. We have Obatala, Oshun, and Ogun. We have the Knight of Swords, Venus Gemini, the Prince of Cups, Venus and Neptune. We have Saint Genevieve, the Queen of Staff, Five of Staff, and Saint Michael, Justice. We have the Moon, the Lovers, and the Seven of Swords. Probably you notice that of all the cards, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that are upside down. Okay? 5 cards that are upside down. I don't count the astrological cards because I always put them in an upright position. So from 9, we have 5. This is talking about a lot of introspection, perhaps involution, and a lot of thinking, a lot of brooding, a lot of analysis during the month of August. There's a lot of thinking. Your mind is going to be very active during this month, my dear Taurus. That's technically what the tarot cards are saying. And what is very interesting is that at the same time, the tarot cards here are talking about, it actually feels like depression. It feels like sadness, grief. I don't know if the word guilt could be put here, but it feels like you have been carrying a big weight in your heart that is making you feel sad, like you're grieving, depressed, something along that line. It does feel like you have a very heavy weight in your heart. That's the best way I can describe it. That's what I'm feeling, and that's what it feels like. We have Neptune here, Venus, we have Gemini, Venus. Venus is very emphasized here, but then Venus, Neptune, Pisces, isolation. So this is talking about that you probably were isolating yourself, you were withdrawing, you were isolating and withdrawing. There are many ways to withdraw from the world. You can become a workaholic, you can become an alcoholic, and those are ways of withdrawing. Those are ways of isolating yourself. Or you can literally isolate yourself and just close the door and stay in your bed for days, hours, etc., etc., etc. And that's the way of isolating yourself. And that's technically depression. There are many types of depression. You have overt depression, you have covert depression, you have chronic depression, you have dysthymia, you have many different types of depression. You have seasonal affective disorder, you have transient depression. You have different types of depression. So when I'm talking about depression, I'm not necessarily talking the depression that you have in mind. I might be thinking many different types of depression. Okay? But that's what the tarot cards are talking about. There's like a depressive state that is still lingering. We have Oshun and Ogun, which reminds us of the story where Oshun, she came and technically pulled Ogun out of his depression, if we can call it like that, because he was isolated. He was in the forest all by himself. He didn't want to have contact with any human or with any being. But she came and pulled him back. And the tarot cards are talking about this process during the month of August. It could mean that eventually you're going to start snapping out of it. Okay? It's going to be a process. And that's what the tarot cards are talking about. Or it could mean that you start working with your depression or whatever it is that is making you feel a little bit sad. It could be that you're diagnosed, let me go tragic, with cancer. And then you have to start working with it. Snap out of the depression, snap out of the anxiety, the grief, or the guilt. Okay? You have to snap out of it. The tarot cards are technically helping you out to snap out of it. No one can force you to snap out of it. If you want to stay there, you are more than welcome to stay there. But the tarot cards are saying that's the energy coming forward. Okay? Health-wise, if you're a woman, anything related with the breast and the reproductive organs, and that means uterus, vagina, that includes fallopian tubes, ovaries. Okay? Keep that in mind. The spinal cord, the vertebrae of your body also get an emphasis during this month. Okay? And the mind, like I said. Because you might be feeling a little bit confused. It could be that you have hypothyroidism and it's making your mind a little bit foggy. Perhaps you have lupus and you are going through a fog, the mental fog that lupus go through. So it could be either one. So if your mind feels a little bit sluggish, a little bit numb, this is not the best time to make decisions. Okay? But it is a time for you to gather information in order to clarify things and make the best decision. In other words, don't jump into conclusions. Don't run into the first choice. Do an inquiry, do a search, look for information. Once you have all that information, then take action. Okay, because the tarot card here is saying that you are prone to be a little bit impulsive and not think clearly. So in other words, someone tells you that your boyfriend or girlfriend is cheating on you. Instead of like jumping into action, first make sure that information is correct. Otherwise, you're going to regret it. The same thing with a diagnosis. Look for a second opinion. Once you have a second or a third opinion, then you decide what is the best course of action. That's health-wise. Job-wise, it means that if you are before many options of what to do with your business or what you should do at your job, I will gather information before acting. Okay? What is happening in your company? Okay? Are they firing people? What they're doing? What is the dynamic? What is happening that you still don't know? Before you take an action, you need to answer those questions. Otherwise, you're going to regret the decision that you're going to take. Okay? And that's all I have for you, my dear Taurus, for August 2016. Until the next one.